Boy, people don't know they don't know my real story. How many of y'all been following me since day one when I first started on Facebook? I could go ahead and tell y'all the truth now. I was selling drugs the whole time. Me and my daddy sold dope together from 2010 to 2016. Some daddy he was. 2016, this when I knew Jesus was real. 2016, I had went viral on Facebook so much, people were calling me to do comedy shows. So I had a quarter kilo of cocaine left. That's 9 ounces. We call it a quarter brick. If the police in here, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And to all the church people in here be like, I can't believe Wayne sold cocaine. Don't judge me, because my cocaine, I cut my dope so bad. I sold re-rock. My dope so cut, my cousin got pulled over with someone one time. They say the dog pulled up and was confused. He was like, "Rrr." But 2016, I had a quarter kilo of cocaine left, man. I gave it away to all the dudes who were hustling for me. I said, you get 2 ounces, you get 3 ounces. I said, y'all can have it. I said, because y'all ain't even got to pay me, because God done came and got me. I said, he gonna come get you too. He just got me first. I gave it all away. I shook my daddy's hand. Went to my daddy's girlfriend, the co-house. I shook his hand. I said, Daddy, I quit. I see you on the other side. I'm legit now. That was January 2016. I quit. Don't clap yet. The next day, I was on the way to a show in Brunswick, Georgia. That's by Savannah, Georgia. Me and my brother heard a knock at the door. Guess who it was? The feds. I was like, God, you must ain't hear when I said I quit yesterday. I said, your angels in heaven ain't sending you the messages. But in order to be great, you got to be grateful. I wasn't complaining. I said, I'm glad God brought me this far. At least when I get out of prison, I'll be able to do comedy shows. I knew I was going to prison. I said, somebody don't snitch. I got trafficking cocaine. I'm finna get 10 years and do 5. I walked to the door with my hands behind my back. I got to the door, the federal agent said, are you Dwayne Coley? I said, yes. He said, we're looking for your dad, Vincent Coley. I said, oh, thank you, Jason. I closed the door. I called my daddy. I said, Daddy, they got you. That was 2016. My daddy got out 2020. He worked with me now. Jesus is popping, you feel me? And when I was in the street, one thing about it, I ain't never snitched. I ain't never snitched. Never. Never, boy. But let me tell y'all what happened one time. Nah, I ain't snitched, but what happened, when I first graduated school, I had my oldest son, Tony, had my second son, Tamar, on the way. So all my friends were going to college and stuff, but I needed a job right then. My uncle was a big-time drug dealer. He had all the weed. He offered me a job. He said, nephew, I'll pay you $1,000 a week to ride me, go pick up my weed every week. I said, oh, thank you, God. He said, but if we get pulled over, you just take the charge. I said, hold up, what'd you say? He said, nah, he said, I'm out on parole, so if I take the charge, I'm going back to prison. But if you take the charge, it's your first time. They're gonna let you out on probation. I said, hold up, so you want me to ride with you every week to go pick up the weed, but if we get pulled over, I take the charge, but you're gonna pay me $1,000, but I take the charge, it's gonna be my first time, they're gonna let me out on probation. He was like, yeah. I said, well, can you put that in parentheses or something? Man, I took that job. Y'all know me, I'm so petty. I was being arrogant with my friends who went to college. I said, y'all need to get y'all a career. I'm making $1,000 a week right now. Man, when I tell y'all this was the best job in the world, he used to give me $1,000 to put in my pocket before every trip. For 14 months, ain't nothing go wrong. I say, I'm just getting free money. He's stupid. Till one day he was driving, and he leaned up like this. I said, what's wrong? He said, man, the police behind us. I said, oh, is they behind both of us? He said, yeah, but we get pulled over, you know what time it is. I said, yeah, it's 12 o'clock. He arguing with me. He don't mess around and swerve. The police pulled us over. Now, he told me, I listened to him. He said, nephew, when the police come to the window, just be still. You know what I mean? So I took that literally. The police came, I did just like this right here. The police looked at me. He knew something was wrong. He told us to get out the car. We got out the car. He had a side of the road. I'm talking to myself the whole time. I said, I knew I should have been out there and quit this job. God damn. But I had to man up. So the police went to the trunk. He had the key. I knew the weed was back there. The police opened the trunk. I heard the trunk go, Arr! I had a slight stroke right there on the side of the road. But I woke up. I had to man up. I had to tell myself, man, my uncle been paying me $1,000. I got $1,000 in my pocket right now for this trip. I can't punk out now. But this one the game changed. The police looked in the trunk. He said, woo, y'all got pounds of marijuana and crack cocaine. I said, hold up, that wasn't on my applications. He looking at me talking, everything good. No, the hell it ain't. This man said, crack, we gotta take this back. I said, you gonna give me a 401k or something. Cause even though I crack cocaine, you know, I'm green. I'm saying, well, it's my first time. They gonna let me out on probation. But this when the game changed again. The police said, woo, whoever on this is gonna at least do 10 years in prison. I said, oh my God. I reached in my pocket and got that $1,000 he had paid me for that trip. And I passed it to my uncle just like this right here. He looked at me, Thompson, what's up? I said, I quit. Police told us to get up. I stood up. I was jumping up and down like a free man, because I know I don't even work for that company over there no more. So the police went to my uncle. He said, is this your pounds of marijuana, crack cocaine? My uncle shook his head, no. I said, oh, you shaking your head the wrong way, buddy. The police asked me, he said, is this your pounds of marijuana, crack cocaine? I said, I swear on Jesus, I don't even have a job. He said, well, if one of y'all don't take the charge, both of y'all going down for the drugs. I said, hold, officer, hold. I'm for the streets. You can't trick me. I know what you're trying to do. You trying to get me to snitch on my uncle. He went to jail. And my auntie got mad. She talking about, Wayne, why you ain't take the charge? Now he finna go back to prison and do 7 years. You was only gonna do 2 years for the crack. You could have laid down for 2 years. I say, I ain't even that sleepy. I say, my health teacher say I only need 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, wrong, you ain't going. I take a nap. Shout out to all my white brothers and sisters in here. But everybody, man, they think I'm crazy though. And a lot of people ask me. They ask me the same question, and I'm getting tired of giving the same answer, because it's like, they be like, Wayne, how you do everything you do? How you drop all them videos every day? How you move without Hollywood the way you move? How you had all them baby mamas and you still straight? And I tell everybody the secret, but they don't want to believe it. I tell everybody, I got Jesus. If you believe in Jesus, let me hear you say, hey, Jesus is popping. And some people say, Wayne, you a hypocrite. How you say you got Jesus, but you had all them women? I said, I prayed for that. My God came through for me. I don't know what your God did for you. I ain't gonna lie though, man. I tell everybody, don't blame the women in the situation. God came to me and tried to save me from that when I was young. I remember when God knew I was gonna be favored. He came to me in a dream. He said, Wayne, I'm gonna touch your mind and give you a creative mind. He said, I'm gonna touch your heart and give you a giving heart. He said, I'm gonna take the urge of women away from you. And I woke up. I said, God, you done enough. I said, you go bless somebody else. You ain't got to bless me. I said, matter of fact, let me suffer with this one. But I tell everybody, man, I got Jesus. How I know I got Jesus? Because I've been in situations that I know he got me out of. Okay, everybody who know my story, me and my dad and my family, my uncles, we sold drugs together for 10 years plus. I'm the only one in the family that ain't go to prison. Now, my grandma swear I was snitching. Every family function, she telling everybody, y'all know Wayne told he was snitching. He say Jesus popping, but he popped up and told on somebody. But that's how I know I got Jesus, because I made out the streets and I ain't had to snitch or nothing. I ain't never snitched. Now, if something wasn't mine, I tell you it ain't. Like one day, I was at my cousin Damon and Travis' trap house. Now, this day trap house, this day drugs. So me and Damon playing the game, so I heard a knock at the door. I said, somebody at y'all door? They said, the police bust in. Damon and Travis dropped their drugs right in front of me and ran out the back door. So I had to run to catch them to let them know, y'all dropped something. We get outside, it's hell dark outside, so Damon and Travis decide they want to hide. Damon jumped in the trash can, Travis climbed halfway up the tree, so I hid in the bushes. But the police found me first. They could see my eyes going through the bushes. They thought I was a deer. Parents, let me tell you something. You a good parent. You are a good parent. I know you try to prove it too much online, though. You be saying stuff on social media you don't know if you mean. I'll do anything to protect my child. I'll die for my children, but I don't know if I'll do anything. Come on now, think about that before you say it. Anything? I done thought this scenario through 1,000 times. I remember my son was young. I should think about it. I said, man, what if we walking together late at night by ourselves in an alley, and the crazy man come with a gun out of nowhere and be like, hey, listen here. Either I rape you or kill your son. Whoa! Junior, let me talk to you for a minute. Stop crying, you're going to heaven, boy. They got Fortnite in heaven too. Hell, don't judge me. I got 10 kids. I can spare one. Oh, hey, you look, what you'll do, brother? That's right, hush, drink your drink. What y'all want me to do, get erased so my son can stay alive? And what I'm gonna do at my funeral later on in life when I'm dead in the casket and he got up preaching time, so I remember when my daddy had bent over and took that, hey. I ain't take nothing, boy. I start lying to the people in this church. Then I'll be on my obituary like this right here. No, the hell I didn't. I keep it real, man. I say stuff y'all scared to say. When I first came up here with this red velvet suit, about 5 minutes in, I realized I made a bad choice. I feel like the inside of a cutlass right now. I'm hot, but I ain't taking it off because it match. You know, black people, when an outfit match, we'll go through whatever to keep this. I have a stroke up here tonight before I take this jacket off. Damn, I knew it when I first came out here. I don't know that y'all.